And another thing about the personality and charisma, you don't need it. We just saw through the latest presidential election, you don't even need a candidate. You need someone in the basement. You don't need anyone out there in the campaign trail. You don't need anyone on the television. You don't need anyone doing interviews. You literally have an image of someone, which they have of Biden. So why wouldn't they just repeat the same thing? I mean, the media controls reality for a large swath of people, and that reality was conveyed. The power of the media was really perfectly represented through the last election where a candidate didn't even run.
Yeah. Hold on. And we have the article from the Atlantic. Stay alive, Joe Biden. Democrats need little from the frontrunner beyond his corporeal presence.
Let's talk about
the
Bernie
media ran. That's what it was. The media ran for president.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
And the media won. The media's getting their way.
Bernie's biggest mistake in 2020 was running as a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. He is an independent, right? The Democratic Party basically screwed him over in 2016. Then at one point he's leading in the polls. He was leading in the polls. He almost became the president. And then everyone freaked out. The DNC, all the other candidates up on that stage, the media, everybody. And they went after him. And within 2 weeks, he was done. As soon as South Carolina happened. He should have never run as a Democrat, because
if he ran independent, Trump would have won.
He keeps saying, we have the largest grassroots organization. Blah 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 blah.
We have the largest grassroots organization.
Better, thank you.
$20.
I am asking you again. Another.
I am once again asking you to give all your money to me.
He could have
Bernie Sanders.
He could have run as a Democrat. He would have gotten a ton of. He could have actually debated Trump and Biden. Think about how amazing that would have been. He didn't need the Democrats, but instead he was just like he goes, and I promise that I will get behind the nominee. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to get it behind Biden, but he had to.
Well, because he wants to keep his money.
The only reason that he ran as a Democrat for a second time, moron, is because he wanted that national attention to be up on stage again, but he didn't have anything new to say. And instead, all these other candidates like Castro, Elizabeth Warren, all these people, they just basically co-opted a whole bunch of his ideas, and he just saturated everything. Now Bernie isn't like he wasn't like a special person. Everybody on that stage was talking about the things that, free college and immigration and all these things, and he screwed himself over.
He tried one-upping everyone else, being like,
Remember back when I said we have to have secure borders? I didn't mean it. I am not a bigot. We should have completely open borders, and
we can bring in everybody.
I loved it when the World Socialist website called Bernie Sanders a nationalist capitalist. The world's, because he was speaking at a rally. And someone said, should we allow all the refugees to come in and open the borders? And he went, no, heavens no. If we open the borders, everyone in the world would want to come here.
He talked about it being a Koch brother plan, trying to get free labor inside of the United States to compete with the American labor force, which, again, no one even talks about anymore, which is crazy. He was making some good points, but I think he played his role. He did. I don't think he was an idiot. I think he did exactly what they told him to do. He said, "Yes, master, tell me what to do," and he did it exactly like they wanted him to do it.
He shouldn't have run as a Democrat.
He injected a whole bunch of energy into the Democratic Party. He got a whole bunch of money. He got a whole bunch of people, young people, predominantly interested in the party that were never interested. Some of them tried to rebel, but he came on that national stage and he bowed down to Hillary. He said, "Okay, everyone, put all of your power, all of your energy, everything you have sacrificed for me, give it to Hillary."
I'll tell you. I remember exactly what happened. Bernie Sanders was standing before this large activist base,
Seattle,
who were pointing their lightsaber at Hillary, who was on the ground going, "I'm too weak." And then Bernie was like, "You don't do it. I need her to win. I need her." And then the people were like, "No, Hillary is wrong and evil." And then Bernie sabered off the populist left's saber, and then Hillary force lightning him out the window. And then Bernie went, "What have I done?"
Power.
And then he fell to his knees, and Hillary Clinton walked over to him, and she was like, "Rise, my Bernie Sanders." And Bernie was like, "I will do whatever you say." And that's how we got Darth Sanders.
Yep. I thought you were. I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna refer to the Seattle rally. Remember when the Black Lives Matter?
Oh, yeah, it took
people
over to a
came up
microphone
basically just
And he just gave up.
and started calling the and started calling the crowd racist. and the crowd is like, "What are you? What? How dare you? How dare you?"
Bernie needed the Democratic Party to lift him up, and I think genuinely that Bernie was like, I will use the Democratic Party. That's why he ran as a Democrat. It was the only way he was going to get a pedestal, and he had to play ball. And that meant he had to change his positions, and he probably thought, but once I'm president, I'll do the right thing. And then it's never going to happen. And then once they made him rich, he was like, well, I deserve it. I've fought my whole life. And so now he's got, how many houses does the guy own?
3 houses in a summer camp,
Good
he
for
said,
him.
right?
Hey, bravo. Being a socialist pays off, I guess. I mean, for the wealthy elite ones, for the poor people, they tend to starve or die. But, in this capacity, everybody who voted for these Democrats, I tell you, man, I mentioned this before, my friends, people I know my whole life were like, you're so dumb, Trump's an idiot, Biden's the best. And now they're going like, my job's going to fire me if I don't get this vaccine. But my doctor's saying like, I shouldn't do it. What do I do? And I'm like, I'm like, you're coming to me for advice now? Yeah. Wow. I'm impressed.
Why don't you ask Joe Biden? Why don't you ask him? Ask him what he thinks.
Joe Biden is gloating that I'm losing my job. Well, bend the knee, bro. You wanted it. But Trump is the fascist. Oh, I remember when Trump deployed the military to deal with Antifa rioters burning down buildings and killing people. Oh, wait, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
I will say, though, it was, I think, was it Bill Barr who went and killed that guy, that Antifa guy?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The guy who shot Aaron Danielson. Barr dispatched feds, and they went and found the guy, and he was in his car, and they said a shootout happened, and they killed him.
Hey, Lydia.
Yes.
You sent me a link earlier.
Did, yeah. Uh-huh.
Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Which one is that? Remind me.
Wisconsin.
Oh,
Kenosha.
Let's see. Oh,
Wisconsin.
That's right. Yeah. So we were talking a little bit about Wisconsin. So one of the things that has come up is that Kyle, I don't want to get us in trouble, but Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyers have talked about how he shouldn't have been in trouble because he was following some of the hunting protocols there in Wisconsin.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was allowed to carry a gun, and everyone's like, "Oh, humans aren't animals." And it's like,
well,
matter.
But
Well,
also,
let me-
Jacob Blake.
Yeah,
Let me pull the
Jacob
story up
Blake.
real quick.
Yeah.
We have this from NBC
Let's do
News.
this one.
Hunting laws allowed Kyle Rittenhouse to carry weapon during fatal shootings in Wisconsin, lawyers say. I mean, that's the gist of it.
Lawyers say.
Well, sure,
right.
but I'm pretty sure they're correct. Because we've gone over this numerous times about the statutes and whether you're allowed to carry weapon or not. And he didn't have a handgun. He had a long gun, which typically are regulated less. And so I'm pretty sure we had someone come out and was like, no, here's the statute, here's the law. And they were like, he was allowed to carry the weapon.
See, I think that I think eventually they're going to have I think they're going to end up trying to throw it out. I think afterwards there's probably going to be like Merrick Garland will probably come out and say we need to have an investigation like they did with Michael Brown, and then they'll do it, and they won't be able to do anything about it.
So initially I was saying I thought Rittenhouse would get life, but then the judge seems to have come out very much like F off to the BS media when they were like, he did the okay hand gesture, a white power hand gesture, and the judge was like, what are you talking about? That's not true. He's like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Are you lying to me? And then they were like, oh, but the ADL says, and he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's ridiculous.
Good for him.
Yeah. So then people were like, whoa, this judge is like not having it. But you're right. I think what'll happen is now I'm kind of leaning towards Kyle might actually win, and then Merrick Garland comes in with a sledgehammer.
Well, what the link that Lydia sent me earlier was that the Department of Justice isn't going to charge the police officer that shot Jacob Blake.
Right.
As there should never be a charge.
Jacob Blake is the rapist, correct?
Yes.
No, he's the hero. Remember that?
Same thing.
He's the guy who sexually assaulted women in their bed, and
Biden and
the cop
Harris
was trying
basically said he was
he's
the hero.
guy. He's the guy who sexually assaulted women in her bed.
Yeah.
And then when the cop tried to stop him from escaping and kidnapping some children, he grabbed a knife, and then the cop shot him. That's who we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The hero.
The hero, yes.
I remember a bunch of NFL players put they put the stickers saying they supported rape on their helmets.
Yikes.
Oh my God.
It's true. Technically
I mean,
correct.
they did technically.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But the Department of Justice, they know, and he even and I think the big thing was he was on. It was either Robin Roberts or Gayle King. He basically said, "Well, yeah, I had a knife," and you're just like,
That's it.
Case closed,
Yeah,
sir.
that's it then.
Yeah, I don't know who these players are, but here's a guy, and he is throwing the ball, and he has a sticker on his helmet that says he supports rape.
That's great.
And then here's here's another guy. I don't know these quarterbacks. Sticker on their helmets expressing their support for rape. Oh, all of these guys.
Wow.
What team is that?
New Orleans.
This one? New
No,
Orleans?
that's
Do New Orleans rapists?
Yeah. I guess.
It's like I don't know anything about football, to be honest. But
Yeah, me neither.
you know, a bunch of players came out in support of rape.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I guess.
And look, you know, you can come to me and tell me, but Tim, surely you must understand they didn't know that. And I'll be like, so you mean to tell me these guys didn't know anything about what happened in Wisconsin with Jacob Blake, and they're supporting him anyway? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not going to make that assumption because that makes too much of an assumption. I'm going to go ahead and say they're supporting Jacob Blake because they know the story, which means they support rape.
And I'm sure that the same thing happened with the WNBA too.
How so?
Didn't they have like little, you know, like probably Jacob Blake stickers on their $5 uniforms?
I really feel like all of them just heard the story of this poor persecuted
Oh, yeah,
black
they did.
man. And
Yeah,
they're like, oh my gosh.
The WNBA created a
Yeah,
shirt
they
with
did,
bullets in
yeah.
it in support of rape.
Good for them.
That's
Good
great.
for them.
Good for them.
I mean, in support of a rapist. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
well, you know,
You're right. It
Potato,
was sexual assault. He sexually assaulted that woman.
potato.
Yeah.
Right. We got to be clear on this because these are the people that come out and claim that they fight for women, that they fight for women's rights, and all of these individuals are calling Kyle Rittenhouse, a kid who worked the Y, a terrorist for trying to defend his community after a 70-year-old man was bashed over the back of the head and left bloody and bleeding on the ground by a bunch of rioters. And he put that the reason they attacked him was because he put a fire out in a dumpster they were pushing towards a gas station. We've had 4 or 5 witnesses come on with the show with video evidence proving that was the case.
Yeah.
And then he fled when they attacked him. Jacob Blake went into a woman's home and assaulted her sexually and then tried kidnapping her children. And they wear his name and call Kyle Rittenhouse the terrorist.
Malcolm X once said, "The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power because they control the minds of the masses."
He's correct.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.